Hello fellow Tenno, if you've clicked on this video it means you're looking at how to farm Vauban. Well, look no further as I'm about to explain the best current method to farm and obtain the components required for you to assemble this warframe. There are two methods to attain Vauban. The first of these is via the Duviri Paradox circuit. Vauban can be obtained as a reward from the week 4 rotation along with Nova and Sarin. On screen now there is an image of the circuit rotation along with its warframe rewards. The second method to attain Vauban is via nightwave. When obtaining Vauban with this method you will need to buy his blueprint from the in-game market for 35,000 credits. In order to obtain Vauban via nightwave you will first need to open the nightwave menu. This can be done in a few ways, but the easiest two are to access this via the Orbiter's navigation section.
Nora is all about
the menu for this will be in the bottom right hand corner. The alternative is via the communication segment of the Orbiter. This can be found above the ramp that takes you down to the foundry. Once you have opened the nightwave menu, to obtain Vauban you will need to head to the cred offering section, where Vauban's neuroptics, chassis and system can be purchased for 20 nightwave creds. To attain nightwave creds you will need to complete nightwave challenges and rank up the tier rewards. You can see how far through the rewards tier you need to get to obtain the nightwave creds at the top of the nightwave menu. Usually you will find the nightwave creds as the first tier reward. The nightwave challenges come in 3 tiers: daily, weekly and elite weekly, all offering different amounts of standing, these being 1,000, 4,500 and 7,000 respectively. These challenges reset, at least for the weekly and elite weekly, every Monday. Now you know the methods to obtain Vauban, we can go over the requirements to build them when being obtained in blueprint form from Nightwave, as the other methods to obtain this frame will grant a pre-built frame. The neuroptics will require 150 alloy plate, 1 neural sensor, 150 plastids, 500 rubido and 15,000 credits. This chassis will require 1 morphic, 1,000 ferrite, 300 rubido and 15,000 credits. The systems will require 1 control module, 1 morphic, 500 salvage, 220 plastids and 15,000 credits. And finally, once you have assembled these 3 pieces, you can build the Vauban frame with 25,000 credits and 1 Orokin cell, assuming you have purchased the blueprint for the in-game market as mentioned earlier. Now we'll go over Vauban's abilities. As an inventor by nature, the process of creation necessitates demolition and destruction. Vauban's passive ability inflicts 25% extra damage with his weapons and abilities against any enemies that are incapacitated or unable to move. Eligible targets include, but are not limited to, those that are stunned by an attached Tesla Nervos, entangled by a mine layer's tether coil, lifted by Bastille's prison, or pulled in by its gravity vortex. Vauban's first ability is Tesla Nervos. Activating this allows Vauban to throw in a capsule of an arcing trajectory towards the aiming reticule. On impact with an enemy, the capsule inflicts 15 blast damage with a small status chance on impact with an enemy or a surface. The capsule releases a Tesla Nervos. The Tesla Nervos is an invulnerable Latcher Spectre that follows Vauban and seeks onto enemies nearby, shocking the target and stunning it in place as long as each Tesla Nervos remains attached. The stunned target receives electrical damage per second whilst discharging an electrical burst every 1 second to inflict electrical damage with 50% status chance to all enemies within the radius. Each Tesla Nervos holds up to 10 electrical charges that last until used. This ability is subsumable in Helminth for 48% oxides, 80% calcs and 80% biotics. The second ability possessed by Vauban is Mine Layer. This is equipped to manufacture an assortment of advanced technology. Vauban selectively arms himself with a specialised landmine by tapping the ability key to freely cycle between the tether coil, Fletcher orb, vector pad and overdriver. Hold down the hotkey to spend 25 energy to throw the selected landmine in an arcing trajectory towards the aiming reticle. On impact with an enemy, the landmine inflicts 15 blast damage with a small status chance. The landmine lasts for 25 seconds once deployed. The 4 mines all act differently. the first of them being the Tether coil. This deploys upon contact with an ally, enemy or surface, sticking on to the first entity or object it touches. Once stuck, the coil extends energy wires that inflict 1 slash damage, incapacitate and pull one enemy within sight and up to 20 meters from the coil. Vauban can deploy up to 4 tether coils on the battlefield at any time. The Fletcher orb deploys upon contact with an enemy or surface, falling onto the ground and hovering in place. Once deployed, the orb turret rapidly fires high velocity nails randomly in all directions, inflicting puncture scaling damage with 50% critical chance. 2 times critical multiplier and puncture status upon enemies hit. Enemies coming within 10 meters are prioritized by the target with high accuracy. Vauban can deploy up to 4 Fletcher orbs on the battlefield at any one time. The third of the 4 mines is the Vector Pad. This deploys upon contact with an enemy or surface, falling onto the ground and illuminating arrows towards the throw distance. Enemies crossing the pad while moving in the arrow direction are propelled forward at a speed of 25 meters per second. Enemies crossing the pad are propelled away from the direction the arrow is pointing at the same speed, regardless of the direction they were moving. Vauban can deploy up to 4 Vector Pads on the battlefield at any one time. Finally, the fourth of the mines is Overdriver. This deploys upon contact with an enemy or surface, attaching onto the first object it touches. Once attached, the Overdriver jumps to the nearest player, companion or mission objective within a 10 meter radius, granting a 25% damage bonus to weapon for the mine duration. Vauban can also deploy up to 4 of these on the battlefield at any one time. The third ability for Vauban is Photon Strike. This allows Vauban to throw a targeting beacon with an arcing trajectory towards the aiming reticule. Upon impact with an enemy, the beacon inflicts 15 blast damage with a small status chance. On impact with the enemy, a surface, or after 1.5 seconds has elapsed, an orbital cannon fires a powerful energy laser that penetrates through solid matter to strike the beacon, destroying it in the process and inflicting a large amount of blast damage, scaling up to the enemy level within the radius. The fourth and final ability for Vauban is Bastille. When cast, Vauban throws a modular device with an arcing trajectory towards the aiming reticule. On impact with an enemy, the device inflicts 15 blast damage with a small status chance. The device also erects an energy containment field that suspends enemies in the air within the radius. Armoured enemies suspended by the Bastille permanently lose up to 10% of their total armour points per second, while unarmoured enemies are simply held captive. Simultaneously, Vauban and allies standing within the containment field gain an armour bonus up to 1,000 armour points based on the amount stripped from the suspended, armoured and unarmoured enemies within. Bastille armour bonus lasts indefinitely whilst inside the field and remains active for 10 seconds outside the field. That covers everything there is to know about farming and obtaining Vauban, along with an ability overview for him. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this guide, please like and subscribe for more. Alternatively, leave a comment if you have any further questions and I will help you out as best as I can.